the text styles. Normally whenever we place text, it's actually being pulled from a text style. Now I'm going to show you how to open up that text styles dialog box to maybe make some manipulations before or after you place text. So to get to the text styles dialog, you can click on this little button right here underneath the drawing production tab. You can click on this little button right here. That'll bring up the text styles, and you can see all the styles that are set up for mode-out purposes. Or you can also go to the place text tool, and depending on what you have loaded, you can open it up this way by clicking on this little button right here that says open text styles dialog, and this will bring that open also. So whenever we come in here, let's go ahead and open it up, and whenever we're placing text, right now it's set to text small, so I will go to that particular style. And underneath here you have the general tab, you have the spacing, under, overline, background, and advanced. So underneath the general tab, you just have some general information about that particular style, like the font, the justification, height and width, and stuff like that, and also some other toggles. If you need to change it for that particular style, you can do that. And whenever you make changes to this, it stays with the file. So if for some reason you want this to stick with the file and always have something set differently than the mode.defaults, this is where you would come in here and change that. But like I said, it stays with this file. It will not go to another file. So underneath spacing, here's some stuff that you can change your spacing for, like your line spacing, X and Y offset, inner character spacing. Most of these, like I said, are set up by the mode.defaults for what we think text should be placed at, but if for some reason you need to change it, this is where you come in here and change these particular settings. Same thing for the underline and overline. If you wish to do that, here are the settings for those, for like your symbology, what your offset would be if you want to toggle it on by clicking on this little button right here. The background, we'll come back to that here in a second. And then also advanced, where it kind of has all the settings that you had underneath general, spacing, underline, and background. So you can kind of look at those at your own leisure if you wish to change stuff. So I'm going to change my text small text style, and I'm going to change it to where I'm going to enable the background. Because right now, let's say I want to place some text over this image or over this hatch. I can do that, type it in the dialog box, and I can place it, but you'll notice that you just see the text and it's kind of hard to see over this hatching. So let's go ahead and put a masking over this text. So I'm going to go ahead and enable the background, and then for the fill color, I'm going to change it to B, which stands for background. Then I have to determine my X and Y offset. I'm going to go ahead and set that to 0.5 on both of those. And this is basically a percentage of your text height and width that's being utilized. So basically this is just 50% of your height. If you want that to be 75%, you just change that to 75. And of course it would make it that much bigger. Go ahead and change that back to 0.5. And then for your color, style, and weight, that's your outside border around that mask. If you don't want an actual border around it, you just change that to B also, and it won't have that border around it. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and leave it set to where it has a border so we can kind of see what's going on. And you'll notice now it actually, in your dialog box for your text editor, it actually puts that boundary around it, so you know that you're putting a mask on there. So now if we're ready to place that text, we can go out there and place that, and basically it masks out everything else behind it and puts in that piece of text. So now once I'm finished with that and I'm done, I can come back into my text styles and I'll go ahead and uncheck that. That way the next time I place text, it'll place it like normal without the mask. Also, the good thing about the mask is it is attached to that particular text. So if I move the text, the masking goes with it. They're not separated out. So that's going over the text styles dialog and some of the settings that are set up inside of here. And basically, like I said, you can tweak these to your liking depending on the situation that you got. But just keep in mind that whenever you change those, you're deviating from the mo.defaults, and also these settings will just stick with this file. It won't be propagated to other files as you're working with your project.